When writing a novel, book, textbook, or paper, it's important to relate the topic to the person who is reading it. This sounds like one of those "duh, Ricky" type of moments, but that's not always the main concern for every author when writing. A person might write about love and friendship by using swans as a metaphor to a group of auto enthusiasts. That's not saying that they won't understand the message, but the metaphor might be lost if they don't care what you're talking about or the metaphor that's being used. In this video, we will briefly set up some points when relating subject matter to the audience. As a heads up, this particular video slants towards writing Bible studies. After all, it is associated with a biblical study book. Nonetheless, it could go for fictional, non-fiction, and even inspirational books. It just depends on what your audience likes. First off, know your subject. For example, with offerings and sacrifices, it was important to understand what this book is based on. Leviticus. Granted, this book has a great deal of laws, but it was important to not write a study just about listing the various laws without something else to help. Although the laws are interesting to the average person, they are not enjoyable or bring on a sense of wanting to choose the book and then study. So the idea was to absorb more about what else is Leviticus teaching, what message is within the book. A few of those subjects are worship and communing with God. After that, it became in what ways is the worship experience similar to the modern day church service. By knowing the subject, it allowed a linking between what is written from the past to the behaviors of today. The next step is understanding how a particular subject affected the people in the past and how that can be similar to present day. Going back to offerings and sacrifices, it was important to learn how the ancient Israelites' ideas, laws, rituals, and beliefs affected their behavior. For example, there are scriptures in Leviticus that deals with women and their monthly cycle. The idea behind the rules was to keep everything clean. Now we do things a little different, but the idea is the same in that everyone wants to be clean. That goes right into the next step. After learning the past, then figure out how it can apply to your current audience. Continuing with Leviticus as an example, the idea was figuring out how ancient laws affected the Israelites' lifestyle and apply it in a similar manner today. One great illustration is the priests who would prepare themselves before servicing the community. And right now, our religious leaders should be preparing themselves before service to the parishioners. This isn't only for religious leaders, but people in general preparing themselves before work, service of any type, or any other kinds of activity. This is just one example of relating a law or ritual from the past and then applying it to now. Oh, and there is one last thing that might be helpful, and that is having a theme or at least a through line for your book. As stated before, Leviticus was about worship and communing with God. However, the same book could have been on the laws or festivals. The theme could have been on community involvement and togetherness. That's just a few examples of how theme or a frame of reference can help shape the book. Well, that's all for now, but hopefully these few tips can help. For more information on the Bible studies, check out Offerings and Sacrifices as a personal study or in a group. Links are in the description below. Thanks for your support and have a blessed day.